So my
Yeah.
first question was, how did you join Entity Paradigm in the first place? When they were just starting up, did you reach out to them or did they reach out to you?
Well, actually, no one reached out to no one because we were already two bands, and Entity was playing since 1991, and Paradigm was playing since 1997. So we merged. That's very interesting story, and I think hardcore EP fans know that. Ahmed and Fawad were doing a play together, a sitcom, and when they were doing that sitcom, they decided to make a song together. So I was in Entity, and Entity was a rap rock band, and Paradigm was an alternative rock band. So both the bands made a song, a collective effort, and then we made the video as well, but for the sitcom, not like a proper music video. Like so, उसके बाद basically there was an event, Battle of the Bands, uh, from where EP actually took off. So Zulfi told us that they're looking for new bands and their original songs. So there was not much time left, and we had that one song, the collective effort. So we just sent that song to that you know company, Pepsi. So उसके बाद ये हुआ कि that song clicked. They called us, and we were in the top 20 who traveled to Karachi and played the. So our band clicked as well, and so we had no other choice than to become one band. So basically, a automatic setup था कि वो two bands के बंदे मिल गए. That why we were eight boys in the start, and people also used to say eight people EP. And so then after that we were seven. So basically this is how it started. So basically it was not like approaching someone or making a band from scratch. We just merged, and Paradigm played the alternative side, and Entity brought in the energy and the rap parts.
All right. So you said you were part of Entity first. How'd you join
Yes.
Entity in the first place then?
I was in college. I was doing my graduation from FC college, and like in the first week, there was a guy who was Ahmed's friend as well, and my friend as well. He was my class fellow, and he was Ahmed's friend as well. So he was like, uh, I have a friend who raps, and he also sings heavy metal, and he's, from a very famous family. So since you're a musician, I want you to meet him, you know. So Ahmed and me, we just sat down in college one day, and अहमद बड़ा sarcastically अहमद ने कहा अच्छा ड्रमर हो तुम तो मैं कहा, हाँ तो उसने कहा अच्छा आओ फिर मेरी तरफ किसी दिन जैम करते हैं सो मैंने कहा ओके सो आई वेंट टू अहमद्स प्लेस एंड वी जैम्ड एंड अहमद ने कहा "If फलाना गाना आता है आई वाज लाइक यस लेट्स प्ले इट एंड ये गाना आता है मैंने कहा यस लेट्स प्ले so we clicked and he offered me to be the drummer of oh sorry entity. That was back in 1993.
Back in 1993. Right. So you talked about how you were eight people. You were called Eight People EP, right? What
Yeah.
were there any logistical challenges? Were there any challenges making the eight-person setup work with rehearsals or live shows?
Uh, Actually, that was, I think, a very good thing. It was unique, you know. At that time, Pakistani bands had at the most 3 to 4 people in band, and we had so much energy, the headbanging and everything, So it was a good experience, but इतनी जल्दी जल्दी सब कुछ हुआ कि एक बंदा तो हमारा इस वजह से कम हुआ कुछ उसके कुछ और भी गोल्स थे अपनी लाइफ में शुरू में तो हम काफी वो थे, लेकिन after some time, he had to go. We're still friends with him. तो उसके बाद जो है सेवन, जो हमारा सेवन लोगों का लाइन है, that actually went on for like 8 years or so, 7 8 years. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
When Entity and Paradigm were still separate bands, did you know about Paradigm before you merged, before you worked together for the sitcom, or were you introduced when you had to do the song together for the sitcom?
No, we knew each other because both the bands belonged to Lahore underground scene. So we used to play at the same gigs. So Ahmed used to organize underground gigs, and I mean, Ahmed actually liked Paradigm very much, and he, asked them to play in all the gig nights on all the underground concerts. So we all knew each other. We all were, we all became friends when we were separate bands, and we used to appreciate each other's band. Used to, you know, there was a mutual respect element as well. So, we knew each other when we made the song. We knew each other when we were for like a couple of years.
So, that's awesome. You played both drums and guitar for Entity Paradigm. Can you tell me why you
Mhm.
switched between the two, and do you prefer either instrument?
Okay, I was actually the drummer, one of the drummers of EP, and basically there was a break in between, break of 2.5 years. So after that, from seven, we were like five then. So the last, uh, I think 3 to 4 years, EP was playing with five guys, but no outsider, all basically band members of EP, original band members of EP. So 8 to 7, then 7 to 5. So that's why in that five guys setup, 5 piece setup, that was the best option that I shift to guitars because I've always been a multi instrumentalist. So, you know, it was very natural that I would shift to the guitars and Wakar will play all the songs.
Um, so so did you prefer drums to guitar? Was switching to guitars just something you did because it was necessary? Or does that preference switch
Yeah,
between
I did it
songs?
for the band basically.
It was the best
Suited
for
the
decision.
band
Yeah.
the most. Sorry, your
What was
voice
it like?
is cutting up a bit.
Hey, Ayan, your
Can you
voice was
repeat,
breaking up
please?
a little.
Yeah, the
Yeah, it's
audio connection's
kind
a
of
little
a
bit
delay or something.
unstable, but one
Uh,
second.
so can you repeat, please?
Yeah. What was it like sharing the role of drummer with Wakar? In what ways do you feel that Entity Paradigm's two drummer lineup improved the sound and live performance?
Okay, the answer. Okay, actually, we were never able to pull it off. The true two drummers and two drum kits thing in live or in the podcast. So we wanted to, we pushed a bit, but I think we didn't harder. And when we talk about EP, we talk about 2000, to 2012, 2013. At that time, generally the stage lighting and sound facilities were not that good. So two drum kits on stage means a lot of extra space, and then 8 to 9 microphones, 4 to 5 microphone stands, 8 to 9 very long cables, and then 8 to 9 extra channels in the sound mixer. So today, when I play concerts, I see a big change, you know, in the lighting technology, the stage management technology, and I see 2 or 3 drum kits in one event. So that was a real big deal and a lot of problem in those days. So, but I still think that I should have pushed harder, or me and Waqar, we should have pushed harder for them. We used to tell the organizers, but everyone had their own reasons not to arrange two drum kits and two setups.
Um, so for those live shows in those early days, um, how did you and Wakar share the role of drummer? How did you make having two drummers but only one drum kit for those performances work?
Yes. Yeah, so we divided the songs basically. And other than being one of the drummers of EP, I had a very the backing vocals and harmonies. So when you hear the EP song, you hear the high pitched backing vocals. That's me. So when Vakar used to play drums, like okay, for instance, we're gonna play 14 songs. So Vakar will play seven, I'll play seven. And when Vakar used to play the drums, I used to, grab a microphone and go in front with the Fawad and Ahmed and sing my backing vocal parts.
All right. Um, were there chal Are there any live performances with EP that stand out to you as your most memorable?
Uh, actually, our fans and our crowd was always, crazy. So I thoroughly enjoyed each and every show. If there even 100 people or 10,000 people, each and every show. But the most uh, actually, my favorite part was traveling with the band. That was an experience. So, in that sense, you can say that I enjoyed out of city or either out of because the traveling factor was, and so that crowd used to be a lot more hungry for EP. For Lahoris, we were like their own band, and we used to go the out of country, you know, so that crowd, they I mean उनको ईपी देखने को मिलता था कोई साल में दो दफा तीन दफा सो उसमें मजा आता था कुछ एनर्जी फैक्टर बहुत ज्यादा
Can you tell me about your first time traveling for a concert? When was it, and what were the kind of feelings you were feeling playing for a new sort of crowd?
okay first time my first travel with my band entity was in 1995 there was a rock festival in Karachi in which around 25 bands were participating and entity went there and we were actually number one in that rock festival. So 1995 was my first travel with entity and any band actually. 1995 was the year when I traveled for to play a concert.
Yeah. Is there any chance, I know it's a very slim chance, but is there any chance of EP becoming more active, perhaps a new tour, or even second album in the in the near future, maybe making that two drummer live show finally work?
Actually, everyone would love, but the thing is that we're scattered. We have a WhatsApp group. Keep in touch. We invite each other to our family events. We're still friends and all that. And we would love to do that all over again, or a second album, or the two drum kits thing, everything. But Fawad is into acting, modeling, and he's doing great. Ahmed is into acting, posting, and all that stuff, and he's doing great. You know, I, I have a lot of students. My studio is, kind of a music school. Then I do music productions and I play sessions, and I'm doing great in that. Then Sulfi is doing great in his production job. And so Hassan is, also Fawad's manager and he also has his business. And Sajad has his business. Wakar is in the US. He's working and, he has a band as well. So अब सब जो इस तरह डायरेक्शंस में निकल गए हैं, so अब वापस लाके एक जगह करना, that seems impossible. Otherwise we would love to reunite. And
Yeah. We're
Can I
approaching
just hop
that.
in? Can
Yeah.
I just hop in and ask a question? So Pepsi was able to get you all together, and you all did perform. So I was just wondering if an opportunity like that arises, would EP get to reunite?
okay, this is a good question. uh, Actually, we did a reunion performance in 2017 for Pepsi. So they thought it would be a good idea that we play. Fawad was one of the judges, and EP has a history with Pepsi Battle of the Bands. So they thought it would be a good idea, and we were like together for 1 week, day and night, all of us. Then we traveled to Karachi, played there, stayed there for a couple of days, had fun. It was like a 10 to 12 days thing, so we pulled it off. But uh, if we want to do it regularly, then we all will have to leave everything else what we do, because a band demands a lot of
Right.
time, a lot of effort, skills,
Right.
restless nights, skipping meals and all that stuff, and the creativity,
Yeah.
everything. So then we'll have to leave everything we're doing simply
That makes
So
sense.
and
Thank
just
you.
do
yeah.
a band.
So you're talking about how tough being in a band is, how much you have to struggle for it to work. Do you feel like that struggle or that workload increased or decreased as you became more popular?
Okay, can you repeat the question?
So you're talking about how it's hard to be in a band, how it's
Hmm.
very difficult to keep up with it. Do you think that difficulty increased when you became more popular or decreased?
Decreased, of course, because we all remember that we used to carry our own equipment when we were underground bands. We used to carry our own equipment and plug it or set it up on the stage, then dismantle it, take our things, lift our things, heavy amplifiers, guitar, everything, put it in our cars, and so that was actually the struggle part of the entity and paradigm. So, and we didn't get any money to play, but एक वो था passion and everything, एक platform मिल गया called और and I was luckily one of the pioneers of Lahore underground because I joined it almost right in the start. So वो struggle का दौर था, no money, and you make so much effort, you lift your heavy equipment, and that, and in the end you're playing for 400 to 500 people, same faces every time, you know,
Mhm.
and same bands almost every time. So वो struggle का दौर था, उसमें भी एक satisfaction थी, और बहुत ज्यादा थी at that time. That was like a dream come true कि 400-500 चाहे लोग थे और हम उनके सामने बड़े मजे से प्ले करते। EP की actually कोई खास struggle नहीं थी, because we had that one song, we presented it to Pepsi as one band, और we clicked. They liked our song, they liked our live performance, and we were finalists, we were the runners up. So EP का हम struggle नहीं कह सकते थे, and we got the album deal, we got video. So struggle uh, EP ने इतनी ज्यादा नहीं की, but we worked really hard. 7 people working on something, so कभी disagreements और ये वो सारा कुछ, लेकिन in the end हर कोई बैंड की बेटरमेंट का सोच रहा था। तो इतनी स्ट्रगल ईपी ने नहीं देखी, एंड स्पेशली व्हेन वी टुक ऑफ, हमारे गाने एक दो हिट हो गए, सो उसके बाद तो दैट वाज लाइक फन फन स्टफ, गेटिंग पेड एंड traveling for free and all that stuff.
Mhm. So from the days in Entity where you were where you were struggling more, where you were hauling your own equipment, do you feel like the crowds were any crazier? Do you feel like that sort of youth scene was any more enjoyable to perform to than the professional scene when you became more popular? Or do you feel like the energy carried over?
Uh, okay, in Lahore Underground, we were fully satisfied because we always had a great crowd who used to come to listen to music, you know, and do nothing else. So we were always super satisfied, not being paid, lifting our own equipment and doing that struggle and everything. पसीना पहुंचा और स्टेज पे चढ़ गए. So कोई उसमें और ईपी के किसी बड़े कॉन्सर्ट में सेटिस्फेक्शन दोनों में एक जैसी थी. अंडरग्राउंड बैंड में भी प्ले करने की और ईपी. ठीक है, ईपी में कुछ और पर्क्स थे which we really enjoyed. Food is free, you know, you're living in five-star hotels or resorts, and वो सारी चीजें हमने ईपी में जो थी वो एक एक्स्ट्रा उसका था. अदरवाइज जब स्टेज पर मैं होता था तो मैं उतना ही एंजॉय करता जितना एंटिटी में अंडरग्राउंड कॉन्सर्ट में करता था, उतना ही एंजॉय ईपी के भी बड़े कॉन्सर्ट्स में.
Thank you. So as we're wrapping up now, one final question. Are there any final thoughts about EP you'd like to share with our audience?
Final thoughts. EP's audience, uh, do you want my final thoughts on, for EP audience? If I want to say anything to the EP audience, that's what you're
Yes.
asking? Okay. Okay. EP audience was teenagers to early 20s when EP was in the scene. Now they're in their early 30s or mid 30s. So now they have kids and everything. So that's the EP audience I'm going to talk to. I really enjoy sometimes when in social gatherings people come up to me and kid, and a wife or husband. So they come up and like, we're big EP fans, and I can't relate to it, because our fans were always teenagers, maximum early 20s. So now they have kids and I'm teaching some kids. क्योंकि माँ बाप जो हैं they're EP fans, but EP fans are in their mid 30s now. So it has changed a lot. So whenever we talk about EP, we see bunch of kids headbanging in front of the stage. So those kids are, now they have their own kids and stuff. So उनको मैं यही कहूँगा, it's nice to meet them. जब भी कहीं मिलते हैं EP fans, और उनकी एज ज्यादा हो गई है, बट खुशी तो होती है कि लाइक अभी तक it's 2023 and अभी तक EP fans मिलते हैं. अभी last week I played a show in Dallas with and uh, at least 6 to 7 EP fans, came backstage and they were like EP fans. We husband wife, बच्चे चच्चे पकड़े हुए. So
Yeah.
but it feels good. Feels good. They look different. EP fans look very different now, but it feels good. Yes, it was something very different now. वो scene ये था कि people used to follow the market, especially in Pakistan. Artists tend to follow the market. कि
Yeah.
आजकल क्या चल रहा है, so I should make something like that. EP was the opposite. कि हम अपने हिसाब से गाने बनाएंगे and then we'll see कि हमें कौन पसंद है. हम अपने हिसाब से हम स्टेज परफॉर्मेंस करेंगे जिस तरह हमारा दिल करता है, and then we'll see कि हमारे फैंस कौन बनते हैं, कितने बनते हैं. तो हमने अपनी मर्जी की चीज की, और बेसिकली यानी हमने इतना सोचा नहीं था. हमने कहा आप एक बैंड, हमारा अल्टरनेटिव रैप रॉक बैंड है, तो इतने फैंस कभी नहीं बनेंगे हमारे. हमने कहा अच्छा चलो 1000 बंदा भी हमारे कॉन्सर्ट पे आ जा करे तो विल बी हैप्पी. लेकिन वो हम तो यानी हैरान परेशान हो गए when हमें पता चला कि बैंड is really taking off है, ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा फैंस बन रहे हैं और दुनिया में बन रहे हैं, not in पाकिस्तान।
Right.
तो बस ये था कि हमने we did something different and हमने ये नहीं सोचा कि मार्केट पे और वो लोगों को अच्छी लगी।
Right. Well, thank you so much for your
Thank you.
time this evening. We really appreciate it. And
Thank
keep
you
making
guys.
music.
Thank you, Main, and
Yeah.
thank you, Ayan.